Hi there, it's Ange. Thank you for tuning into my station at Starlight Wellness. And today I want to talk about the new moon in Leo that just passed this August 2nd. And also talk about the Mercury Retrograde season that we have coming up in 3 separate transits in Virgo. And so there's also a Chiron energy that's continuing in Pisces until November. And all of these 3 topics focus on healing, and specifically it focuses on healing our inner child. And I received a beautiful blessing and gift from the universe for this video, and probably to share it with my followers, of these inner child cards. So I'll tell you the story how I got those. Basically, a month or 2 ago, right near the summer solstice, I went to a medical appointment, and the appointment was out of the way from my normal location or appointments that I go to, and there was a secondhand store there. And so I went in looking for some tarot or oracle cards that I can use. And lo and behold, here was a deck for just over $1. So there's no coincidence that I found these cards during the summer solstice, right before the new moon in Leo, and would like to do a reading in the second part of this video with you. So that's also just to give you some symbolism about how beautiful the sun is a focus, which is the ruler of Leo. The card deck has a sun on it, which is so cool. And also the authors of the book, who are Leonard and Leonard, so Isha and Mark Leonard, describe in the inner child cards that anybody who finds this deck or gets this deck as a gift is meant to have it and is meant to do readings with it. And especially if there's a Chiron, Neptune retrograde or energy transition, and that's when a person receives this book as a gift or buys it just out of chance. And so this really is a sign that I was meant to have this book and do a reading. So I wanted to do that in the second part of the video, but first I'm going to get into the astrology. So first, August 2nd, we have a new moon in Leo. Leo rules the heart chakra. It's a fire energy. It wants us to heal our inner child, that sense of joy, the sense of playfulness and creativity and expression, and doing what makes your heart sing with joy and following that. Also, there's 3 consecutive transits in Virgo for the Mercury retrograde later this month. And this is really important because it's asking us to review health-related matters. Whether we are healthy or maybe we're reviewing health policy in our workplaces, it's really pushing for alternative health approaches and asking us to detoxify things that are no longer working. And so Virgo rules medicine and Zen-like lifestyles. So it's really pushing us in that direction when we are doing this Mercury retrograde. Finally, there's another health-related focus, which is Chiron. Chiron energy continues retrograde in Pisces until November. Also, Neptune has been in retrograde. And when those planets are in retrograde, they are also asking us to heal deep, deep wounds or traumas or collective humanitarian energies that are looking for us to raise our consciousness so that we can be more humane with each other and come from our heart center, which is what is symbolic of the new moon in Leo, which is asking us to really heal ourselves and tune back into our inner child, that innocence, that joy, that playfulness. And obviously it's all about sharing stories and storytelling. So what I found fascinating when I was reading the Inner Child card book, there was a paragraph that really struck me as important and what I wanted to share. And it's about storytelling, which is part of healing our inner child, even as adults. It's really important for us to share our stories or hear other people's stories. So in our culture, we have lost contact with storytellers of the old. While many children hear the tales and understand basic messages, it is the rare child who experienced the true, magical, and life-enhancing change of consciousness from listening to one of these stories. The recent inner child work that is becoming so prominent seeks to heal and unbind the wounded child within, guiding individuals back to a childlike state. From this place, whether joyful or sorrowful, a new acceptance of life and initiation are inevitable. As individuals journey into their wounded past, they ultimately find a way into the light. What is most inspiring about this is a realization that internal healing also touches the collective wound of humanity. Through our individual work, we guide the masses forward, not through words, but through actual cellular momentum, the quantum leap into universal service. So, this theme of the Chiron energy, which is symbolic of the wounded healer, is really asking us to tap into our inner child and heal that part of us. And it's further saying, our experience reveals that the placement of Chiron at birth has a deep connection with the need to heal the wounded child before we can feel whole as adults. Notice the similarity of the chi in the words child and Chiron, a link to the chi as the word of energy flow in China. So it's about healing this energy chi. And Chiron, the inner child, this is our energy chi, our light force, and storytelling and myths and nature plays a big role in that. So I'm going to do a reading in my second part, but before I get there, I do want to make a disclaimer about my channel so people understand what I'm sharing and why I'm sharing it. I do big picture astrology, mostly moon cycles, and when there's major planetary transits. So I'm looking at bigger energy transits and doing astrological readings and oracle card readings at the same time. So there is a level of intuition that I have to use, and so my videos are authentic for that reason, because sometimes I'm channeling information and I'm doing things kind of on the spot, so I'm not scripting any of my information. Secondly, this is also my brand. My brand to help people right now is to find authenticity in their own journey. And in doing that, I as well have to be authentic in my process. And so when I do share my own experiences of astrological events or things that have happened to me, I have to look at both the shadow and the light side, the good and the bad, just like a story. The hero or heroine has to overcome an obstacle for us to see the solution in the light. And so this is part of developing authenticity and part of the work that I want to share and help with you or with anyone who's interested in finding healing on their own path. And so thank you for tuning into my station to this new moon in Leo. I hope your inner child really thrives before we get into the Mercury Retrograde. because it can get a little difficult, specifically for Gemini or Virgo folks, because Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and those individuals might feel it stronger or have more intense or negative type of situations to overcome. So really slowly review your information, take the pace of nature, tune into your inner child when you're overcoming these things.